Good morning to all of you, my friends. Welcome back. So, I hope you guys were able to solve the questions on service costing. I hope you are thorough with the concepts. Now, today we are starting with a new chapter, that is standard costing, a very good chapter, very practical chapter, and from examination point of view also, it's very important. And further, many students find difficulty in standard costing because there are many formulas in standard costing. So I'll not be discussing any formulas throughout the standard costing. I'll be discussing the concepts that how come these formulas are prepared. So do pay attention. Whatever the queries you have, you can speak to me. Further, I'll be putting up many questions in the live session. And I want everyone to post your answers or opinion on the questions what I'm putting. The more you will participate, the better you will be with the concepts and you will enjoy the session. Trust me. So, without wasting time, let's start with this chapter, standard costing. When talking about the weightage is approx 8 to 10 marks. So, let's start with standard costing now. We can call this chapter as variance analysis also. We can call this chapter as variance analysis also. Now, even though the name is costing, but this chapter has nothing to do with cost calculation. It's a part of management accounting, or we can say it's a tool of management. It's a part of management accounting, or we can say it's a tool of management, and it assists management in decision making. It's a part of good morning, Akhila. Good morning, Methili. Good morning, Surinder. Good morning, Mehak. So now, when talking about standard costing or variance analysis, see every company. One second. So when talking about standard costing or variance analysis, guys, every company do set up benchmark targets or standards at the beginning of the year. I repeat again, guys, every company do set up benchmark targets or standards at the beginning of the year. And at the year end, they do compare these targets set with the actual results. Now, once the actual results are out, they do compare these targets set with the actual results. Now, there will always be some difference between the target set and actual result. So, this difference, we call it as variances. So, the standard costing technique first help us to calculate the variance. That is the difference between the target set and the actual result. Now, further, it helps us to figure out that who are the person responsible or what are the reason for these variances. That also standard costing technique help us to figure out. So I repeat again, when talking about standard costing, we'll be calculating variance. What are variances? That is, every company do set up benchmark targets or standards at the beginning of the year. And when the actual results are out, they do compare these targets set with the actual results. So there will always be some difference between the target set and the actual result. We call these differences as variances. Now, why these variances? This also standard costing technique help us to figure out. So in this chapter, we'll be calculating these differences and variances. Further, why these variances, that also will be calculating. Let me discuss this concept with the help of an example, a very basic example, wherein I'm the owner of the company and I'll be manufacturing 10,000 units. Now I set up a target that I'll be manufacturing these 10,000 units using 30,000 kgs of raw material. I set up a benchmark that these 10,000 units will be manufactured using 30,000 kgs of the raw material. However, when the actual results were out, to manufacture the same 10,000 units, we used 32,000 kgs of raw material. So instead of 30,000 kgs, we actually used 32,000 kgs of raw material. That is 2,000 kgs extra we used. 2,000 kgs. 2,000 kgs extra we use. So this 2,000 kgs is not a good sign for the company. So we can say that these 2,000 kgs is not a good sign for the company. So we can call it as adverse for the company. Another example, let's say I set up the target that I'll be manufacturing 10,000 units using 20,000 labor hours. We set up the target that will be manufacturing 10,000 units by 20,000 labor hours. But however, when the actual results were out, we figured out that the work was completed in 19,000 hours only. My workers did a great job. They worked efficiently and they finished the work in 19,000 hours only. It means what? There is a saving for 1,000 hours. It's a good sign for the company, so we can call it as favorable for the company. Another example, let's say I set up the target that I'll be manufacturing 10,000 units using a total overheads of 5 lakh rupees. However, my actual overheads were 4,80,000. Again, it's a good sign for the company. It's a saving of 20,000 rupees. We can say again 20,000 rupees is what? Favorable for the company. So what we will be doing is we'll be setting up the targets. Now, once the actual results are out, we'll be comparing these targets set with the actual results. We'll find out the difference. We'll figure out that whether these differences are favorable for the company or adverse for the company. So this is all what we'll be doing throughout this chapter. Now, let me give you a brief about what all points we'll be covering in this chapter. Good morning, Neha. Let me give you a brief about what all we'll be covering in this chapter. So let's take a very basic example. We'll be discussing this chapter very practically from a practical point of view, no theory, no study material, notes and all. It's just we'll be discussing what all practically we do. So let me give you a summary about what all we'll be discussing in this chapter. So let's say I'm the owner of a company. I provided enough of man, machinery, material, and all the resources to my employees. And after providing these resources, figuring out the industrial pattern, I targeted that at least I should earn a profit of 5 lakh rupees. This is the target what I set up, and accordingly I provided all the resources, everything to my employees. Now, at the year end, once the actual results were out, my actual profit was only 3 lakh rupees, way less than what I expected. I repeat again, I set up a target of profit of rupees 5 lakh. Accordingly, I provided the man, machinery, material to my employees. Now, and I set up this target of 5 lakh. Now, once the actual results were out at the year end, my actual profit was only 3 lakh, way less than what I expected. So we can say there was a difference of 2 lakh, or we can say there was a loss of 2 lakh, whatever as what I expected. So it's not a good sign for the company. Now the question is, what are the reason behind this difference of rupees 2 lakh? Who all persons are responsible for this loss of 2 lakh? Can you please help me out with it? Waiting for your answers. What all can be the reasons for this loss of 2 lakh? Very good, Akhila. I just want your opinion. What all can be the reasons for this loss of 2 lakh? Very good, Tanu. Okay, Hemin. But I have kept these market trend in. I have already considered this market trend. Very good, Akila. Very good, Tanu. Yes, Neha, Lohit, Bala Murugan, Mehak. Very good, Khushi. Lohit, very good. Very good, everyone. What about the other students? Yes, Anil, Kambira, Nisha, Kajal. The more you will participate, the better you will be with the concepts, guys. Anyone else with any other opinion? Yes, Gabbar. Very good, Lohit. So see, I've got answers from many students. Most of the students were saying either there is excessive use of material, or we can say inefficiency of labor, or we can say more overheads. So see, everyone is talking about the cost part. Yes, you guys are correct. See, when talking about this profit, how we calculate profit, guys? Very simple. Profit is calculated by very simple way, that is sales minus cost. When talking about profit, how we calculate the profit? Sales minus total cost is what? Profit. So if there is any change in sales amount also, the profit will be affected. And if there is any change in cost also, the profit will be affected. So this change in profit can be due to two reasons. Either due to change in sales or due to change in cost. It can be either due to change in sales or due to change in cost. When talking about cost also, as I discussed in cost sheet, there are three major elements of cost, that is material, labor, and overhead. When talking about cost, there are three major elements of cost, that is further overheads can also be classified in two parts. So when talking about what all are the factors that are responsible for this loss of 2 lakh, we can simply say either it is due to change in sales or change in cost. When talking about cost, It can be either material, it can be either labor, it can be either fixed overhead, it can be either variable overhead. So these are the factors that are responsible for this loss, or we can say change in profit. So now what we have to do is we have to investigate each and every department one by one. What we have to do, we have to investigate each and every department one by one to figure out that who is the culprit. I repeat again, we have to investigate each and every department to figure out that who is the person responsible for this loss of 2 lakh. So in this chapter, we'll be investigating all these departments. From examination point of view, this part is not covered in the syllabus. So we'll be investigating either material department or labor department, fixed overhead department, and variable overhead department. So ultimately, we'll be investigating the cost department, not the sales department, at the from examination point of view. So this is all what about the summary of this chapter. If you guys have any doubts or queries, you guys can post your queries. Further, whatever the concept part I'm discussing, do write it down. Don't take the screenshot. Take your time. Do write it down, all the concepts part. So giving you 2 to 3 minutes time to copy everything. Further, again, apart from this, whatever written over the board, if you have understood anything else also, just write it down in your notebook with red pen or black pen. So for better understanding that this is what's taught and this is what I understood. So giving you 2 minutes time, guys. The management, the owners, Akhila, anyone else with any doubts or queries? No, it's only related to manufacturing industry, Lohit. So let's start. So we'll be, as I said, that we will be investigating each and every department one by one. So let's start with the investigation of material department now. So now see, as I'm the owner of the company, I had made a loss. I mean, not a loss actually. My targeted profit was 3 lakh and my actual profit is, sorry, my targeted profit was 5 lakh and my actual profit is only 3 lakh. That is 2 less than what I expected. So since I have to carry out the investigation, so I'm starting the investigation with the material department. So what I'll do is that I'll call the head of the material department. Now, once the material department head comes, what I'll say is that I think there is a loss in my company. I mean, I have my profits are much less than what I targeted. And I think your department is responsible. So what will the head of material department say? He will say, sir, just give me some time. I'll prepare the detailed report and will update you. So now we'll be discussing what all reports what the head of the material department will be preparing. So now what he will do, he will first check what were the targets set, what all target the company management set down. So now what he will do, he will first check the targets that were set by the company. So he will check that what was the budget of the company. So when talking about the budget, it's given that we are using two types of raw material, X and Y. When talking about X and Y, it is given that if 60 kgs of X will be used, then 40 kgs of Y will be used. So therefore, if my total inputs are 100, company has predicted that there will always be a normal loss of 20% of input. That is 20 will be my normal loss and output will be how much? 80. So this is what the target set by the company. Okay. Now very important, company is not saying that we have to manufacture only 80 units. The company has given the data that for every 80 units, this will be the data. Again, I repeat, company is not saying कि हम लोग सिर्फ 80 units ही manufacture करने वाले. Company is saying that for every 80 units, 60 for every 80 units, 60 will be the input of X, 40 will be the input of Y, total input will be 100, 20 will be my normal loss, and 80 will be my output. So let's say if we are manufacturing 800 units, 600 will be of X, 400 will be of Y, 1000 will be my input, 200 will be my normal loss, and 800 will be my output. Suppose, let's say we are manufacturing, let's say 1600 units. Again, 1200 will be my input of X, 800 will be my input of Y, 2000 will be my total input, 400, that is 20% will be my normal loss, and 1600 will be my output. So the company, the management has given the data for every 80 units of output, that for every 80 units of output, how much quantity will be used and what will be the normal loss. Now see, the management has also given that at what price you will purchase X and Y. At what price we will purchase X and Y. So X is to be purchased at the rate 5 and Y is to be purchased at the rate 4. This was the budget that was given by the management. I repeat again, when talking about this budget, the budgeted is given for every 80 units of output. That is, for every 80 units, 60 will be X, 40 will be Y, 100 will be the input, 20% will be the normal loss, and 80 will be the output. Further, the price at which X and Y will be purchased is 5 and 4. See guys, very important, before proceeding for the solution, you should focus on what the question is asking us. So try to understand the question practically before starting or before rushing for the solution. So this data will always be given in the question, wherein the budgeted data. So budgeted data, budgeted output will be given in the question. So it means what, that company सिर्फ 80 units सिर्फ 80 units नहीं बनाएगी. If the more the production will be, more the inputs will be. So for every 80 units of output, this is the data that is given. I'm just writing here only. Now, when talking about when the actual figures were out, actually we consumed 700 kgs of X, 300 kgs of Y. My total inputs were 1000. My 300 was normal loss and my actual output was 700. These were my actual results. Further, when talking about the price at which I purchased X at the rate 4 and I purchased Y at the rate 5. So my total cost was 2800 for X. So this much data will always be given in the question. That is budgeted data and actual data. This will be the pattern of question wherein the budgeted data will be given and the actual data will be given. Now, the point is we have to calculate the variances. So we have to compare this budgeted data with actual data. So my question, first question to all of you, my friends, that are these two figures comparable? Can we say that we were supposed to use 60 kgs of X, but we actually consumed 700 kgs of X? Similarly, we were supposed to use 40 kgs of Y, but we actually used 300 kgs of Y. Can we say like this? My question is, are these two figures comparable? So waiting for your opinion. Every one of you, I want your answers, guys. Yes, my question for all of you, are these two figures comparable? Very good, Lohit, Khushi, Surinder, Mehak, Maithili, Akhila, Karan Shah. Yes, waiting for your opinion, everyone. As I mentioned also, the more you will participate, the better you will be with the concepts. Yes, Kambira, Ankita, Nisha. So I've got 50% poll. They say that they are comparable, and 50% students are saying that they are not comparable. Still, there are few students who have not posted their answer. Yes, Neha Pandey. Okay. So my next question to all of you, why these figures are not comparable? Can you please help me out with this? Why these two? Those who said no, what about yes? I'll just discuss this part. But those who said no, the point is why they are not comparable. Okay, so Prajyot saying comparable. I'll get back to you, Prajyot, also. So those who said that, sir, it is not comparable, the next question is why they are not comparable. Waiting for your answers, guys. My question is very simple. Can we say that we were supposed to use 60 and we actually use 700? So it means there is a difference of how much? 640. So Anil is saying that, sir, Mehak is saying that price is not as per the budget. Anil is saying that after conversion into the same figures, we can easily convert. I mean, we can easily compare Maithili because the budget is only hundreds and the actual is thousands, sir. Anyone else with any other opinion? Khushi Gupta. Very good, Khushi. Lohit said that, Khushi, your answer is correct. Very good. Lohit is saying that the ratio of two sets are different. Yes, Kajal, waiting for your answer. Outdated production. I'm not getting what is outdated production, Kajal. Can you please brief? Rohit, your answer is I'm not sure what exactly you're saying. Yes, Kambira, Anil, Mehak, where are you? Yes, Prajot. Okay, Prajot said it is comparable. So those who said not comparable, can you please post your explanation? Okay, so I've got, if standards are old and not revised, comparing them with current actual results may not give a correct picture. So it's about the price. We simply have to equalize quantity and then we can compare it. Okay, very good, students. So the point is, many students said that it is comparable. Many students said it is not comparable. Now, those who said that it is not comparable, they posted their opinion. Now, those who said it is comparable, again, a question for you. Very simple. Let's say I'm a manufacturer of this shirt, and for manufacturing one shirt, I require 2 meters. The budgeted data is given. I'm just asking a very easy question. For manufacturing one shirt is my what? Output. This is my output. For manufacturing one shirt, I need 2 meters. This is what my input. So just like this budgeted data given, I'm just giving a very simple data, wherein for manufacturing one shirt, I require 2 meters. Now when the actual results were out, I actually manufactured 5,000 shirts by using 11,000 meters. I repeat again, the budgeted data is given that for manufacturing one shirt, I require 2 meters. So for manufacturing I repeat again, for budgeted data, the data is given wherein for manufacturing one shirt, we require 2 meters. So this was the budgeted data given. When the actual results were out, we actually manufactured 5,000 shirts using 11,000 meters. So my question is, can we say that we were supposed to use 2 meters that was given in the budget, but we did a blunder. Instead of 2 meters, we actually used 11,000 meters. So can we compare this? Yes or no? Can we say that we were supposed to use 2 meters and we actually used 11,000 meters? It means what? That there is a loss of 10,998 meters. Can we say like this, that there is a loss of 10,998 meters? Yes, everyone. Those who said yes, those who said no, just want your opinion on this. Okay, this was a bit difficult, but when talking about this question, this is the budgeted data given just like this. This is the budgeted data. This is the actual data. We were supposed to manufacture one shirt for 2 meters. Actually, we manufactured 5,000 shirts using 11,000 meters. So can we say there is a loss of 10,998 meters? Yes, everyone post your answers. So now this time everybody's answer is no. Yes, Prajyot. Now, as you said, many students say, sir, no, it is not comparable. Now the question is why it is not comparable. Can you please post your opinion? Yes. Why it is not comparable, everyone? So now, Hemin, your opinion is correct. Ankita, your opinion is correct. Very good. Very good, Surinder. But why? See, again, guys, many people, many students are just memorizing the formula, mugging up the formula. If the question is straight, you can just apply the formula. But if the questions are on the trickier side, you have to be thorough with the concepts. And I'll be discussing all these concepts. Whatever the question is given, you are writing down the answer. Why you are writing down the answer? I'm just discussing like that only. So now see, very simple, these two figures are not comparable because this data, this 2 meters is given for 1 unit of output, that is one shirt, wherein actual 11,000 is given for how many shirts? 5,000 shirt. So we cannot compare. अगर हम लोग 2 meters use कर रहे हैं, we are manufacturing one shirt. Herein we are using 11,000 meters, but we are manufacturing 5,000 shirts. So herein this data is not comparable. Why? Because their output is not same. This data is given for one shirt, but this actual data is given for 5,000 shirt. So we cannot compare. Why? Because their output is not same. So what we will do is, one shirt require 2 meters, right? So it means 5,000 shirts require how many meters? 10,000 meters. So 5,000 shirts बनाने के लिए 10,000 meters we were supposed to use, but we actually used 11,000 meters. 1,000 meters extra we use, so we can say 1,000 meters is what we can say it is adverse for the company. So the point is very simple. To compare the two quantity of raw material, we have to check the output, that their output should be same. So when talking about for calculating the material variances, the basis of comparison is what? Basis of comparison is what? My output. So herein, once we kept the output same, that is 5,000 shirts we were supposed to manufacture by using 10,000 meters, but actually we used 11,000 meters. 1,000 meters extra we used. So we can say yes, it is adverse because these two figures are comparable because their output is same. So in material, very important, the basis of comparison is what? My output. I hope it is clear to all. So for calculating the material variances, the output should be the same. So herein also, this data is given for how many units of output? 80 units of output. However, this data is given for how many units of output? 700 units of output. So are these two figures comparable? No. Why? Because their output is not same. I hope this part is clear to all conceptually. Anyone with any doubts till now? I'm just putting up efforts to make you guys understand the concepts in detail. No need to memorize. Just think practically. This chapter is very practical, very important. In finals also, you'll find few concepts on this chapter. So very important. Just try to understand the things practically. Anyone with any doubts or queries now? Those who want to copy this explanation can please copy. I'll be erasing this part. Yes, Mehak, I hope this part is clear. Akhila, Tanu, Mathili, Surinder, Kambira, Pradyod, Lohit, Khushi, Anil. Anyone with any doubts or queries? If output is not given in the question, we will assume that the output is same. So now these two figures are, okay, now the next question is coming, guys. These two figures are not comparable. Why? Because their output is not same. So what we have to do is to calculate the variances. We have to make them comparable. Just like 5,000 shirts should be manufactured in 10,000 meter, but actually we manufactured in 11,000 meter. So we have to calculate that 10,000 wala figure. So herein also, for 80 units of output, how much inputs we are using? 60. So for 700 units of output, how much input was required? So this we have to calculate. So we have to prepare revised standard. So can anyone tell me that how much quantity we were supposed to use of X? The same concept. One shirt, 2 meters. 5,000 shirts, 10,000 meters. So similarly, 80 units of output, 60 input. So for 700 units of output, how much input we were supposed to make? So Nikunj, good morning. I think you are a bit late. The answer is incorrect. Very good, Khushi Gupta. The answer is correct. Lohit, very good. Methili, it is incorrect. Neha Pandey, it is correct now. Akhila, it is correct now. Anil, it is correct. Yes, Prajot, Ashok, Tanu, Mehak. Methili, it is incorrect. Kajal Yadav, it is incorrect. Suhaira, waiting for your answer. Ashok, waiting for your answer. Ankita. Gabbar, very good, it is correct. So those who posted the incorrect answer, very simple. One shirt, 2 meter. It means 80 output. How much input? 60 input. One shirt, 2 meter. So for 5,000 shirts, how much meter? 5,000 output. How much input? So we have to generally simply cross multiply. So very simple. So simple cross multiplication. What we did in the same concept, that is one shirt, 2 meters. So 5,000 shirts, 10,000 meters. So herein also 60 input for 80 output. So for 700 output, how much? 525. So this is the correct answer. Similarly for Y also, 40 input for 80 output. So for 700 output, how much? 350. I hope this part is clear to all. Very good, everyone. Now your answers are correct. I hope you guys are thorough with the concepts. See, the formulas are given. I can straight away write down the formula. I'll not be putting up any efforts if I have to simply teach formula. I'm just putting up these efforts to make you understand that what are the logic, what are the concepts behind these formulas. Further, this standard costing technique, how can we practically apply in a manufacturing industry also, that I'll teach you guys. So whatever the questions I'm putting up, do post your answers. Very good. I got answers from many students this time. Very good, everyone. So for manufacturing 700 units of output, how much quantity we were supposed to use? 525 kgs of X and 350 kgs of Y. My input will be how much? 875. See, my normal loss was how much? 20%. So if we subtract 20% from 875, we will get our output 700. Now see again, we were supposed to manufacture these 700 units of output. How much quantity we were supposed to use of X? 525. At the rate what? 5. Similarly, for manufacturing 700 units of output, how much quantity we were supposed to use of Y? 350. At the rate what? 4. So how much should be my total cost? 2625. And herein also, how much should be my total cost? 1400. So in short, how much we should have actually spent to manufacture 700 units? 4025. So to manufacture 700 units, what should be my cost? 4025. That is 700 units बनाने के लिए which 300 you are talking about, Methili? So to manufacture 700.
Sir, X is 60 input and 80 output into multiplied by 700 actual. So Y is 40 input and 80
40
output,
is
which is
input for
multiplied by
80 output. So for 700
Yes.
output, how much? Again, I'm not talking about input. Again, you are not trying to understand this practically. The basis of comparison is what? Output. So herein, what is my output? 700. Coincidentally, these figures are matching. But at the
Okay,
end of
okay,
the
sir.
day, this 700 is basically my output at both the points.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So, so to manufacture 700 units of output, this much should be my cost, but this is my actual cost. Anyone with any doubts or queries till now? Anyone? See, Anil, as I said, normal loss is how much? 20% of input. So if you will say 875 into 20%, you will get 175, Anil. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? So in simple terms, to manufacture 700 units, how much should be my cost? 4025. What should be my cost? How much we should have spent? 4025. But the amount what we actually spent is how much? 4300. So how much extra we have incurred? 275. We have extra incurred, so we can say it is not a good sign for the company. We can call it as adverse. So no need to write full adverse. We can simply write adverse for A, and if it is favorable, we can write F. So what is this basically? The difference in total cost of 700 units of output. So this is what? The difference in total cost of material. So we can say it is material cost difference or material cost variance. So what is material cost variance? 275 in this case, material cost variance. That is how much should be my cost? 4025. How much is my actual cost? 4300. How much is the extra cost we are incurring? 275. Say this 275 alternatively also we can calculate wherein X, wherein material X, how much quantity we were supposed to use? 525 kgs. At the rate what? 5. How much quantity we actually use? 700. At the rate what? 4. Similarly, herein also for Y also, how much quantity we were supposed to use? 350. At the rate what? 4. How much quantity we actually use? 300. At the rate 5. So this will be 175 adverse, there will be 100 adverse, the total will be 275 adverse. So I hope material cost variance you are thorough with. Anyone with any doubts or queries in material cost variance? Yes, friends. I'll give you time to copy, guys. Anyone with any doubts or queries right now in material cost variance? Yes, Methili, Hemin, Akhila, Mehak, any doubts? Neha, Prajyot, Khushi. So Surinder, very simple. For 700 units, how much cost we were supposed to incur? 4025. How much cost we actually incurred? 4300. How much extra cost we incurred? 275. Alternatively, we can say 4025 कैसे आया? 525 into 5 minus 700 into 4. Similarly, 350 into 4 minus 300 into 5. So in short, 4025 minus 4300, we will get this variance. Which method, Hemin?
Sir, I'm talking about the revised standard which you showed with a tabular form. It's like it gives a direct impact, like it's understandable rather than the one you showed saying for 5 to 5 into 5 minus 700 into 4. The another one,
This one you are saying?
yeah, that's kind of like I find it difficult.
See, very simple, my dear. How come we got 4025? Tell me.
Um, we did the revised standard for the both the X
No,
and
no, no.
Y.
How come we got 40? So you are saying that this matter is a bit difficult and this is easy, right?
Yes,
Okay. So here I did 4025 minus 4300, right?
yes,
Okay. Now, how come I got this 4025? 525 into 5 plus 350 into 4, right? This is how I got 4025.
yes, sir.
So 525 into 5 and 350 into 4. Ultimately, I'm just breaking down this 4025 and 4300. So again, for minus 4300, how come I got 4300? 700 into 4 and 300 into 5, right?
Yes, sir. Okay, okay.
I hope it is clear
Makes
now.
sense now. Yes, sir.
So there is no rocket science. I have just break up that amount. That how come I 4025 minus 4300. That's what it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Anil. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? Guys, just give me 1 minute. I need water. So just give me 1 minute. So, Anil sir, every time this might not be the situation. If the budgets are comparable with actual with similar quantity and similar output, can we directly compare the budget? So, Anil, the answer to this question is very simple. See, I just want your answer that if the budgeted output and actual output are same, Anil, I repeat again, if the budgeted output and actual output is same, do we prepare revised budget? Are we required to prepare revised budget? Yes, Anil. Yes. So I prepared this revised budget. Why? Because the budgeted output and actual output are not same. So very simple, Anil. If budgeted output and actual output are same, we can straight away calculate the variances. This revised standard we will prepare only when the budgeted output is not equal to actual output. I hope it is clear, Anil, now. Okay, Tanu Vishwakarma, sir, for calculation of standard quantity, we need to multiply with actual output and divide it by budgeted output. See, I have just discussed in detail the concept that why we are doing so. I hope it is clear, Tanu. Don't try to memorize the things, just try to memorize the concepts. I hope it is clear. I'm just doing cross multiplication, Tanu. So now let's proceed further. So we have calculated the material cost variance. Now let's say these figures are in thousand. Now the head of material department is worried. Now the head of the material department is worried that okay, my department is contributing towards the loss of company. Assuming these figures are in thousand, so herein it is adverse. It means there is some loss in material department. Now, material department, there are many people who are working in material department. Now, head of material department, what he will do? He will try to figure out that who is the person who is responsible for this loss of 275. So now, just try to understand practically that how he will figure out. So see, guys, very simple. I repeat again, guys, now the head of the material department is well aware that his department is contributing towards the overall loss to the company, that his department is contributing towards the overall increase in cost, thereby contributing towards the loss of company. Now, this head of the material department has to figure out that what is the reason of this loss of 275? Who are the person responsible for this loss of 275? So see, this variance, how we calculated quantity into price minus quantity into price. This is how we calculated the variance. So herein, the first factor is the quantity, second factor is the price. So let's start with the price part. See, this loss, one reason is what the price. That is, we were supposed to purchase at the rate 5, but we purchased at the rate 4. We're talking about why we were supposed to purchase at the rate 4, but they purchased it at the rate 5. So the first difference is what? The price, and second difference is what? The quantity. So now when talking about the price part, who is responsible for this price? The purchase manager. The purchase manager was given a job that you have to purchase X at the rate 5 and Y at the rate 4. But what he did, he purchased X at the rate 4 and Y at the rate 5. So this is one of the reason for this difference of material. This is one of the reason for this material cost variance. So let's start with the job of the purchase manager. So what the head of material department will do, he will call the purchase manager that Mr. Pane, purchase manager, you are the person responsible for this loss of 275. Now, guys, do pay attention to the justification that is given by the purchase manager. Very important, guys. Do pay attention to the justification that is given by the purchase manager. Now, what he says that, sir, you told me to purchase X at the rate 5. I purchased X at the rate 4. Now, similarly for Y also, you advised me to purchase Y at the rate 4. However, I purchased it at the rate 5. This is what the justification of purchase manager, that okay, I was supposed to purchase at the rate 5, but I purchased it at the rate 4. Similarly for Y also, I was supposed to purchase at the rate 4, but I actually purchased at the rate 5. And very important, the quantity I actually purchased is how much? 700 and 300, because the quantity used is 700 and 300. So ये use कहाँ से हुआ होगा? I purchased it, that's why you used it. So the quantity I purchased is 700 and 300. So herein I gave you guys a profit of 700, but herein I made a loss of 300. So ultimately, I'm making a profit of 400. I'm not contributing towards the loss. I'm contributing towards the profit of the company. Herein, I made a profit of 400. I repeat again, do pay attention to the justification given by purchase manager that I was supposed to purchase X at the rate 5, but I purchased at the rate 4. Into the quantity I actually purchased is 700. Similarly for Y also, I was supposed to purchase at the rate 4, but I actually purchased it at the rate 5, and the quantity I actually purchased is 300. So in short, instead of contributing towards this loss, I contributed towards the profit, wherein I made a profit of 400. I didn't contribute towards loss. I made a profit of 400. So purchase manager job is what? To manage the price. He has to purchase the raw material at a competitive price. One more question. Why I have multiplied it with the actual quantity? This question is very important. Why I multiplied this with the actual quantity? 700, 300. Why I didn't multiply it by 525 and 350? So guys, do pay attention. Purchase manager has nothing to do with how much quantity was supposed to use, how much quantity is actually used. He is only concerned about the pricing part and the quantity he actually purchased. Now, since this quantity is actually purchased, that's why we have consumed it. Further, purchase manager is not at all bothered that whether you keep this quantity at your place, you waste it, or you use it in manufacturing process. This is not my job. My job is very simple, to purchase at a competitive price, and further my performance will be evaluated only on the basis of quantity what I actually purchased. See guys, how the system works, very simple. How the system works, generally what the production department they do, they issue purchase requisition. You can check my lecture on material costing. Earlier in the previous batches, I have discussed in detail. You can check out my previous recorded session. That what the production department do, they do issue request for purchase. That is purchase requisition to the purchase department. After receiving the purchase requisition, the purchase department purchase the material. So purchase requisition is an authority letter to the purchase department that you can purchase. So what they will do, they will issue the purchase requisition, and accordingly the purchase manager will purchase. So the very simple guys, the performance the performance of the purchase manager will be judged on the basis of quantity what he actually purchased. He purchased the raw material, give it to the production department. अब ये प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट के ऊपर है कि वो रॉ मटेरियल खराब करे, यूज करे, चोरी करे, whatever it is. My job, my performance will be evaluated on the basis of quantity what I actually purchased. That's why I use here the actual quantity rather than my standard quantity. I hope this part is clear to all. Yes, Mehak. So I hope you are comfortable with this. Yes, Mehak. So here, when talking about the work of the purchase manager, his job is what? To purchase at a competitive price. So here, when talking about the purchase manager job, his job is to purchase at a competitive price. And herein we are calculating the price difference. See, here we calculated the cost difference, so the name was material cost variance. Herein we are just checking out the difference in price, so herein it will be material price difference or material price variance. So we call it as material So material price variance, very simple, guys. How much price we were supposed to purchase? The price at which actually purchased into my actual quantity. This is how the material price variance is calculated. Anyone with any doubts or queries in material price variance, you guys can please post your queries. Again, don't try to memorize the formula. I'm just putting up efforts to make you guys understand the concepts. So focus on the concepts rather than memorizing formulas. Anyone with any doubts or queries in price variance? Yes, Prajyot, Surinder, Mathili. Lohit, any doubts? So as I told you that there is a difference in cost, there are two factors responsible. First one is the price, second one is the quantity. So now let's move toward the quantity part. Now the usage of material. The second one is the quantity part, the usage of raw material. Now very important, who is authorized to use the raw material? The production manager. His job is to manufacture the product, so he is responsible for this. He is responsible for the quantity. Can anyone tell me how much loss this guy has made? See, the overall loss of the material department is 275. The purchase manager is saying, I am not contributing towards the loss. In fact, I have made a profit of 400. So can you guys tell me how much loss this department made? Very good, Hemen. Very good, Lohit. Very good, everyone. Can anyone tell me? Yes, waiting for your answer. See, overall loss of the material department is 275. The purchase manager has explained very well that he is not contributing towards the loss. In fact, he has made a profit of 400. So, guys, now how much loss this department did to the company? Can anyone tell me? I've got answer from only two students for the same. Yes, Mehak. Very good, Anil. Surinder, Balamurgan, very good. Yes, it is correct. It is not 125, Mehak and Surinder. Very good, Karan. It is correct. Neha, it is not 75. The overall loss is 275. He is saying I made a profit of 400. So how much this department head has made loss? Can anyone tell me? Very good, Nikunj. So simply the balancing figure, the overall loss is 275. Herein the profit is 400. So very simple, herein it will be 675 ka loss. 675 adverse, 400 favorable will be 275 loss. Anyways, let's discuss this part practically. So the production manager is responsible for quantity usage of raw material. Very good, everyone. Your answers are correct. Surinder, please recheck your answer. Prajyot has corrected the answer. Very good. So now let's move towards this part. The production manager is responsible for the quantity. So now what the head of material department will do, he will call the production manager that please explain this loss of 675. I'm already out with the figure of 675 because the overall loss is 275. Purchase manager has contributed towards profit. It means your department is responsible for this loss of 675. So please explain. So now, guys, do pay attention to the explanation given by the production manager. So when talking about X and Y, how much quantity we were supposed to use? 525. How much quantity we actually use for X? 700. For Y also, how much quantity we were supposed to use? 350, but we used 300 only. So this is the difference in quantity. Now we have to explain these variances in monetary terms. So very simple, guys. We have to multiply it by price. The price we will be taking as 5 and 4. Further, why we are taking 5 and 4? That is very important, guys. So just like purchase manager has nothing to do that how much quantity we were supposed to use, how much quantity we were actually using. Purchase manager job is to purchase at a competitive price, and the price purchase manager job is to purchase it at competitive price multiplied by the quantity what he actually purchased. So simply, when talking about the work done by the production manager, very simple, his work will be judged independently. Because see, if we take actual price represents what? The work done by the purchase manager. And the production manager will say that why I have to take the price, why I have to consider the job that is done by the purchase manager. My job should be judged independently. I'm not at all concerned about the work done by the purchase manager. I'm just concerned about this price only, that is 5 and 4. Just like purchase manager को production manager के काम से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. So similarly, production manager has nothing to do with the work done by the purchase manager. And when talking about the work done by the purchase manager, very simply, actual price कहां से आया होगा? The actual price कहां से आया होगा? जब purchase manager ने purchase किया होगा तभी actual price आया होगा. So very simple, their work will be judged independently. Their work will be judged independently. That's why I'm taking basically the standard price. So this will be 875 adverse, and this will be 200 favorable. Net it will be 675 adverse. Again, this variance talks about the difference in usage of raw material. That is how much we were supposed to use, how much we actually used. So herein, this difference is what? The difference of usage of raw material. So we can say it is material usage. Yes, Anil. So this is all what about cost, this is all what about price, and this is all what about usage. Anyone with any doubts or queries? So when talking about cost variance, very simple. What should be my budgeted cost? 4025. What is my actual cost? 4300. How much extra we incurred? 275. Now, next is purchase manager. His job is for the price. So material price variance. The price we were supposed to pay 5. The price we actually paid 4. Now we'll be taking actual quantity. Purchase manager has nothing to do with that, how much quantity we're supposed to use and how much it is used. His performance will be evaluated on the basis of quantity actually purchased. So 5 minus 4 into 700, 4 minus 5 into 300. Similarly, when talking about the usage variance, very simple. The quantity we were supposed to use minus the quantity we actually used into standard price. Anyone having any conceptual doubts or queries? Yes, we are just giving the breakup of the total material cost variance. See, Anil, material cost variance, how we calculated? Quantity into price minus quantity into price. Quantity into price minus quantity into price. So price we have considered here, quantity we have considered here. So this is how we got the material cost variance. So very simple, guys. Material price plus usage will be cost. Anyone with any doubts or queries? I'm done with material cost, price, and usage. So what say, guys? Concepts are easy or formulas are easy? There are approx more than 16, 17 formulas. That if the questions are straight, you can apply formulas, but if the questions are on the trickier side, then yes, you won't be able to apply formulas. Don't worry, Lohit. At the end of the session, you will find the concepts much more easier because I'll be putting a few tricky questions in front of you in the class. If you'll apply formulas, you will not be getting any answers. See, Hemen, very simple. For calculating variance, we have two. Variance are calculated. How come variance are calculated? Difference in the target set and the actual result. So if the actual results are not available, we won't be able to calculate the variances. I'll be covering this part also, Anil, don't worry. So Hemen, for calculating variances, actual data is must. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? Yes, Bala Murugan, Kambira, any doubts? I'll be discussing 3-4 questions more for better understanding of the material variances. Don't worry. So fine, guys. We are done with the 3 variances. Let's take a break of 15 minutes. I'll be back after the break with 2 more concepts on material variances, and then we'll discuss few questions. Edwin sir, please put break. Admin sir, shall we start? Okay. So welcome back, my friends. After the much needed break. So Lohit, let me complete this this part first. Then I'll just tell you that who all should be penalized. Anyways. So now we are very much clear that there is some problem with the production department. So now what the production head will do? Again, see, he is the person responsible for the entire production. So he cannot be removed from the job. So what he will do, he will again conduct a detailed study that why this loss of 675. So herein also, two people work under him. See, there is a difference in usage of quantity. That is, we were supposed to use 525 kgs and we actually use 700 kgs. Similarly, herein also 350 kgs we were supposed to use. We actually use 300 kgs. So yes, there is a difference in usage of raw material. Now see, two persons are responsible. The first person is the engineer and second one is the production supervisor. Now let's talk about engineer. So what the production manager will do, he will call the engineer first. That, okay, Mr. Engineer, there is a loss in our department of 675, assuming it is in thousands. So there is a loss in our department of 675 and I think you are the person responsible for this. So now guys, do pay attention to the engineer. Many students find it difficult. Many students make mistake in this part. So see, the engineer is responsible to maintain the mix. See, let's say again, for in my company, I'm the manufacturer of shirts. I do manufacture fabric first and then I convert it into shirt. Now, engineer is the person responsible that how much percentage should be cotton, how much percentage should be lycra, how much percentage should be polyester, how much percentage should be nylon. So engineer is the person who is responsible for the mix of raw material. So herein, when talking about this question also, the company advised the engineer that X and Y should be in the ratio of 60:40. The company, as per the target set by the company, company said that X and Y should be in the mix of 60:40. So the company said that whatever the actual inputs you are making, it should be in the ratio of 60:40. So here in my actual inputs were how much? 1000. As advised by the company, this 1000 should be in the ratio of what? 60:40. So 1000 in the ratio of 60:40, that is 600:400. This should be the mix of 1000. But what engineer did? He changed the mix from 60:40 to 70:30. That is 700:300. When talking about every variance, we have to express it in monetary terms. These all are the subordinates of the production department. So we'll be taking the standard price only, that is 5 and 4. So herein it will be 500 adverse and herein it will be 400 favorable. So still there is a loss of 100 adverse. Now engineer is the person who is responsible for the mix, to maintain the mix. So herein there is a difference of what? Mix. So we can say material mix difference or material mix variance. So this variance is what we call as material mix variance. I hope this part is clear to all. What is material mix variance? What should be my mix of actual input? 1000 should be in the ratio of 60:40. That is 600:400. What should be my mix? 1000 should be in the ratio of 60:40. Writing also for your reference, standard mix 1000 should be in the ratio of 60:40. answer. $600 and $400. So material mix variance, anyone with any doubts or queries? Further, can anyone tell me, see, when talking about the production manager, there are two subordinates, engineer and production supervisor. There is a loss of 675 in the usage department. Of this, 100 goes to the engineer. So what will be the loss of the production supervisor? Can anyone tell me? Very good. Nikunj. Very good, Karan. Very good, everyone. Ankita, your answer is incorrect. Rest everyone. Methili, your answer is incorrect. Rest everyone, correct answer. Ankita, Methili, please recheck. Very good, Tanu. Very good, Khushi. Yes, Gabbar, Mohan Kumar. Neha, Suhaira. Very good, Hemen. Now it is correct, Ankita. Yes, Anil. Neetu Singh, I think you joined a bit late today. Very good, Lohit. So ultimately, the production supervisor is contributing to a loss of 575. Now the question is how? Now, who is the production supervisor? The production supervisor is the person who is sitting in the factory from morning to evening. He is responsible for production, for the usage of raw material. जो भी raw material use होता है वो उसके supervision में use होता है. So if there is any wastage of raw material, or if there is any theft of raw material, or excessive usage of raw material, this person is responsible for everything. So now the entire picture is clear. So what the production manager will do, he will next call the production supervisor and he will say that I think you are the person responsible to this loss of this loss to the company. Now what production supervisor says, do pay attention, guys. Production supervisor is responsible for generating the output from input. I repeat again, who is the person who is production supervisor? The person who is responsible for generating output from input to get that yield. So this variance will be called as material yield variance. His job is what? To generate output from input. Now see, these 700 units can be manufactured from how much units of output? 875. So this 700 units should be manufactured by 875 kgs of raw material. No worries, Neetu, that's okay. So this 700 units of output should be manufactured using how many kgs of raw material? 875 kgs. But to manufacture these 700 units, how much kgs we actually consumed? 1000 kgs. So how much kgs extra we consumed? 125. Ultimately 125 kgs का जो है कंपनी ने excessive use किया है. Now this 125 kgs can be of X also, can be of Y also. 125 kgs can be of X also, can be of Y also. So which rate we should take? 5, 4 or average rate or weighted average rate? So the best approach is take weighted average rate. So herein 5, again we'll be taking the standard price only. So 525 into 5, 350 into 4. The total is how much? 4025 for 875. So 4025 is the cost for what? 875. So how much will be the proportionate cost of 125 kgs? 575. So I repeat again, these 700 units should be manufactured by using how much kgs of raw material? 875 kgs of raw material. But for manufacturing these 700 units of output, we actually consumed 1000 kgs. How many kgs extra we used? 125 kgs extra we used. Now this 125 kgs can be of X also, can be of Y also. So which rate we should take? 5, 4, 4.5 or weighted average rate? The best is weighted average rate. So weighted average rate will be how much? 525 into 5 plus 350 into 4, total is 4025 divided by 875. One more point, there are 2 to 3 ways more for calculating material yield variance, but this is the easiest way. See, there are many other ways to calculate. I can calculate it in different ways, but to avoid confusion, I'm just discussing this way only. So this is the easiest way. Again, there are more approaches to calculate. The answer will be same in all the cases. So this is the easiest possible way to calculate material yield variance. So that is 575 Edwards. Anyone with any doubts or queries in this material yield variance? Yes, guys. Yes, anyone with any doubts or queries? I hope, Neetu, you are thorough with what I have discussed till now. Yes, Neetu. Yes, Tanu, any doubts? Gabbar, any doubts? Prajot, Anil, any doubts? I'm done with all the material variances. So, Tanu, very simple. Yield means what? Generating output from input. So, 700 units of output, how much inputs was required? 875. But we actually used how much? 1000. How much kgs extra we used? 125 kgs. 875 minus 1000, that is 125 kgs. Now these 125 kgs can be of X also, Y also. So that's why I'm taking the weighted average rate. Ultimately, you can say we were expecting a normal loss of 175. I repeat again, we were expecting a normal loss of 175, but my normal loss is how much? 300. That is how much extra? 125 kgs. So as I mentioned, there are many other ways to calculate yield variance. So I'm just discussing the easiest possible way. Anyone else with any doubts? Yes, Kambira, Kajal, Mehak, any doubts? Suhaira, any doubts? Khushi? Asking individually, this chapter is very important. I'll be putting up many questions in front of you in the sessions. So now let's revise what we have discussed till now. We'll just revise what we have discussed till now, and then I'll put up few questions in front of you. So see, as I'm the owner of the company, I called the head of the material department. We are starting with the investigation of the material department now. So I called the head of the material department and I just told him to submit the detailed report. So he's just preparing his report wherein the budgeted data is given in the question, the actual data is given in the question. My first question was that are these two figures comparable or not? No, these two figures were not comparable. The reason was what? That herein the budgeted data is given for 80 units of output and actual data is given for 700 units of output. Since the output is not same, so we have to make it comparable by preparing revised standard. So how we prepare the revised standard? 60 kgs for 80 units of output. 60 kgs for 80 units of output. So for 700 units of output, how much quantity was required? 525. Similarly, 40 kgs for 80 units of output. So for 700 kgs of units of output, how much? 350. So at the end, this 700 output should be manufactured by this data. That is 525 kgs we were supposed to use at the rate 5, 350 we were supposed to use at the rate 4. So the total cost should be 4025 for manufacturing 700 output. But we actually did the cost of 4300 for 700 units of output. So first point is, first check the question that budgeted output and actual output are same or not. If it is same, start calculating the variances. But if it is not same, prepare what? Revised standard. Now see, now these two figures are comparable. So first thing what we will calculate is material cost variance. That is the budgeted cost minus actual cost, that is 4025 minus 4300. Alternatively, how come we got this 4025? 525 into 5, 350 into 4 minus 4300. How come we got 4300? 700 into 4 and 300 into 5. So standard quantity into standard price minus actual quantity into actual price, we will get as material cost variance. So when talking about formula, this is the formula given: standard quantity into standard price minus actual quantity into actual price. So this is how these formulas are prepared. So this is material cost variance. Now, there are two factors that are responsible for this cost variance. First one is the quantity, second one is the price. So when talking about the price, purchase manager is responsible. He has to purchase at a competitive price. What price we were supposed to pay? 5. What we actually paid? 4. Into the quantity actually purchased 700. So this is price variance. So 5 minus 4 into actual quantity. So very simple. Standard price is 5. Actual price is 4 into actual quantity. This is material price variance. Now next move towards the production manager part, that is usage variance. How much quantity we were supposed to use minus how much quantity we actually used into the standard price. We will not be taking actual price because it will give the impact of the purchase manager. That is incorrect. So very simple, the quantity we were supposed to use, we call it as standard quantity. The quantity we actually use, we call it as actual quantity into standard price. So 525 minus 700, 350 minus 300 into 5 and 4. When talking about the work of the engineer, it talks about the mix. That is, what should be my standard mix minus what is my actual mix, or we can say actual quantity, into standard price. Further, when talking about yield variance, this is the easiest way. Another ways are there. But when talking about the formula, there is a formula that is given, that is standard quantity minus standard mix into standard price. So this is how these formulas are prepared, and these are the formulas that are given in study material. But when talking about the concept behind these formula, this is the concept. Now see, the head of the material department is ready with the report, the detailed report. So can you guys tell me who is the culprit? Who is the person who is contributing to this loss of? Ultimately, who is the culprit? Can you guys tell me? One of the person pointed out that, sir, not the production manager, he's the senior most employee. So production manager is not the culprit. So Lohit said, shouldn't the store manager be penalized for giving the stock? See, store manager should not be penalized because the production department will issue मटीरियल रिक्विजिशन टू द स्टोर. सो स्टोर डिपार्टमेंट का काम क्या है? जितना प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट का डिमांड आए, दैट इज ही इज लाइबल टू सप्लाई टू द प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट. ही इज नॉट एट ऑल कंसर्न that production manager is taking it at home, or he is using the material, or he is wasting the material. So not the store manager. I've got answers from everyone, and I think everyone is having a unanimous consent that production supervisor. So I think there is a wastage of 125 kgs of raw material, and this 125 kgs is either wastage or theft of raw material. So very important, guys. Here the management need to take corrective action. Either production supervisor should be removed from the job, or he should be penalized for the job. Somehow, somewhere, engineer can escape. That, sir, you told me to mix the material as 60s to 30. For the betterment of the product, I changed the mix from 70s to 30. A very basic example from our daily kitchen, that suppose your mom told you guys to prepare the cup of tea, wherein the ratio of milk and water should be 60s to 40. But what you did, to improve the quality of tea, you change the mix 70% milk and 30% water. So engineers somehow somewhere can escape that, okay, for the betterment of the product, I change the mix. But again, production supervisor have no excuse. Why this waste of raw material? Further, very important, who should be rewarded for this job? Who should be rewarded? Very good, everyone. So as all the students mentioned, this guy should be rewarded or should be given some sort of benefit or some sort of incentive or some sort of promotion to encourage him ki bhai, you purchase this at a competitive price, try to purchase Y also at a competitive price. The management can motivate the purchase manager again to purchase Y also at a competitive price. So ultimately, this is what actually happens in the company. So when talking about the standard costing, see guys, stop writing. When talking about the standard costing, see, this is a diagnostic report of the company. Let's take a very basic example. Suppose if you're feeling feverish, what you will do? You will go to the doctor. Okay. Now doctor will say that do these blood testing. So you will go for a blood test report. Now, once the doctor checks the blood test report, he will be able to figure out that where exactly the problem is. He will locate the problem, and accordingly he will issue the medicine. So similarly here also, this is the diagnostic report or blood report of the company, wherein the management, once they will get the report, they will figure out that here exactly is the problem, and accordingly they will give the medicine here or they will take corrective action here. So very simple guys, when talking about standard costing, it provides us that complete report to the management. So management can take corrective action wherever the problem is located. So this is how it works. So now this is all what about material variance. If you guys have any doubts or queries, you guys can post your query. I'm done with all the material variances. One more point, mix plus yield is usage, usage plus price is cost. So ultimately, standard costing techniques help us to provide the complete detailed report to the management, and accordingly, management will locate the problem and will take corrective action. So this is the practical approach, that every company is using. So mix variance, very simple. My actual inputs are 1000. It should be in the ratio of 60:40, that is 600:400. But my actual mix is 700:300. So anyone with any doubts? I know, can you guys prepare the formulas on your own? Yes, I hope you are thorough with the concepts. Very simple. Standard cost minus actual cost. When talking about price, we were supposed to purchase at the rate 5. We purchase at the 4 into actual quantity. Similarly, for usage, the name itself says usage. How much we were supposed to use, how much we actually used into this price. Mix, what should be my mix, what is my actual mix into standard price. So I hope you guys can prepare the formulas on your own now. Anyone with any doubts or queries? Because now I'll be putting up the questions in front of you.
Sir, what is the formula you wrote in material yield variance, sir?
Standard quantity minus standard mix into standard price.
Standard quantity minus standard material into standard price. Okay, sir.
I request you guys to copy this explanation now, giving you 2 to 3 minutes time. Yes, Lohit, any doubts now? Hemin, Surinder, Akhila, Mehak, it is right. Again, don't try to mug up the concept. The formulas may change from question to question. That's why I'm saying, Just focus on the concepts. No need to memorize the formula. Yes, it is must, Suhaira. I'll just tell you guys also how to write down the solution. The answer is correct. Mahek, your explanation is correct, but yes, it may vary from question to question. Anu, any doubts? Neha, any doubts? Anil, Prajot, please copy everything now. I'll be taking a question from study material. Yes, once you are thorough with the concepts, you can prepare any formulas, Mehak. Those who have noted down, please open your study material. I'll be discussing illustration number 3 now. So let's start with illustration number 3 from the study material. The page number is 13.19. I request you guys to open your study material, illustration number 3, page number 13.19. So the standard cost of a chemical mixture is as follows, wherein 40% of material A at the rate 20, 60% of material B at the rate rupees 30. The standard loss of 10% of input is expected in the production. The cost records for the period showed the following usage, wherein 90 kgs of A at the rate 18 and 110 kgs of B at the rate 34. The quantity produced was 182 kgs of the product. You are required to calculate the material variances. So let's start with illustration number 3 now. Now see, just the same way, we have to prepare the master chart. Budgeted data is given wherein two types of raw material we are using. A and B. A is 40 and 60. Total inputs are 100. Normal loss is 10% of input. My output is 90. Price is 20 and 30. So it is 90, 110 and 182. When talking about the price, it is 18 and 34. So my first question to all of you guys, are these two figures comparable? Yes or no? See, the hard work is over. Now let's focus on the easiest part. So first question, are these figures comparable? Yes or no? Neetu Singh, seriously? Neetu Singh, your answer is incorrect. This is the budgeted data. This is the actual data. 200 is the input given. Output is given 182. So balance will be my normal loss. So now let's make it comparable. We have to prepare revised standard. So 40 input. Can anyone tell me what will be my standard quantity? Yes, what will be my standard quantity, guys? Very good, Khushi. Nikunj, it's incorrect. Very good, everyone. But Akhila, it is incorrect. Nikunj, it is incorrect. Karan, it is correct. So this will be 40 is for 90 output. So for 182 output, how much? 40 is for 90 output. So for 182 output, how much? Similarly, 60 input for 90 output. So for 182 output, how much? So this will be 80.88. Sixty divided by 90 into 182. So this will be 121.33. So 80.89 and 121.33, 20 and 30. We will calculate the total cost also accordingly. Very good, everyone. So guys, we are ready with the master chart. Very good, everyone. We are ready with the master chart now. So let's start with the first one, material. Material cost variance. That is 5258 minus 5360. So this will be 102 adverse. So very simple again, standard cost minus actual cost, or we can say standard quantity into standard price minus actual quantity into actual price. That is 80.89 into 20 plus 121.33 into 30 minus 90 into 18, 110 into 34. Next is material price variance. This price minus this price into actual quantity. So standard price minus actual price into actual quantity. So for A and B, we were supposed to purchase at the rate 20. We purchased it at the rate 18 into 90. So this is 180 favorable. Second, we were supposed to purchase at the rate 30, but we purchased at the rate 34 into 110. So this will be 440 adverse. So how much it will be? 440 minus 180. 260 adverse. Next, here comes material usage variance. Usage, how much quantity we were supposed to use, how much we used into this price. So standard quantity minus actual quantity into standard price. So for A and B, how much quantity we were supposed to use? 8.89. How much we used? 90 into 20. Similarly, how much we were supposed to use? 121.33. How much we actually used? 110 into 30. $182 adverse. $340. So net it will be 158 favorable. You can cross tally also 260 minus 158. 102. That is price plus usage will be cost. I hope you guys are finding this question easy now. Yes. Methili, I hope you are thorough with the concepts. Mohan Kumar, Gabbar, Neha, Ashok, Lohit, any doubts? Perfect. Now, we have to calculate mix variance. Can anyone tell me what will be my mix variance? The solution is not there in the study material for mix and yield. So do post your answer on mix and yield variance. Waiting for your answers. This is just to test you guys. Do post your answer on material mix and yield variance. Waiting for your answers now. And this time I want answers from everyone on mix variance. So Hemin is the first one to post the answer, and Hemin, you are correct. Very good. Followed by Nikunj Doshi. Very good. Methili, it is incorrect. Anil, I'm not getting what you are asking. Lohit, it is incorrect. So Nikunj and Hemin, your answers are correct. Mehak, it is incorrect. Very good, Kajal. Very good, Tanu. Very good, Hemin. Both the answers are correct, Hemin. Very good, Kajal. Both the answers are correct. Very good, Kajal. Both the answers are correct. So Hemin, Kajal, and Nikunj, you got correct answer. Rest all waiting for your answers. Those who have posted the answers, your answers are incorrect. See, Anil, as I said, in material, basis of comparison is output, not input. In material, basis of comparison is output. That what is my output? Just remember, when you are not being able to understand, just remember the example. 2 meters, 1 shirt output. So for 5,000 shirts, what should be my input? 10,000. So whenever you have any doubts, just remember that example, that 2 meters, 1 shirt. 5,000 shirts, 11,000 meters. So for 5,000 shirts, how much should be my input? 10,000. And we actually use 1,000 extra. I hope it is clear. Anil? Yes, Anil? Okay, Methili, you have not posted. It is adverse or favorable? Yes, other students sleeping or what? I want answers from everyone. If if you guys have any doubts, you can speak to me. I'm here to address all your queries. Khushi, waiting for your answer. Tanu, Ashok, Gabbar, Kambira, waiting for your answer. Very good, Nikunj. Your answers are correct. Karan Shah, you have posted, but it is incorrect. Akila, it is incorrect. Neha Pandey, Nisha Rai, Ankita, Kajal, Neetu Singh, do post your answer. Suhaira, do post your answer. If you will not solve the question, how you will understand that you are thorough with the concepts or not? So be it right, be it wrong, do post your answers. Gabbar, it is incorrect. Mathili, now it is correct. Very good, Mathili. Appreciate your efforts. Akila, it is incorrect. Keep on trying, Akila. I want correct answers. Okay, so Khushi Gupta, very good. Your answers are correct. Very good. Detailed explanation by Khushi Gupta. Very good. Your answers are correct. So till now, I've received correct answers from Hemin, Nikunj, Kajal, Mathili, Khushi Gupta. That's it. Rest everyone. Okay, Tanu, now your answer is correct. Very good, Tanu. So these are the students who posted correct answer. Ankita, now your answer is correct. Very good. Now Lohit has also got the correct answer. Very good, Lohit. Earlier you posted incorrect answer. Ashok, the answer is incorrect. Ashok, incorrect answer. See, for me, it's very easy to solve the question straight away. But you guys, to make you guys understand in a better way, that's why I'm asking and putting up these questions in front of you. Suhaira, very good. But I think there are round of differences, I think, Suhaira. So anyways, guys, let's discuss this question. See, how much is my input? 200. It should be in the ratio of 40:60. So standard mix, 200 in the ratio of 4:6. 40:60. 200 in the ratio of 40:60. That is 80 and 120. So this should be my mix. 80 and 120. My actual mix is 90 and 110. Into the price is 20 and 30. So this will be 200 adverse. This will be 300 favorable. So net it will be 100 favorable. Very simple question. Now when talking about yield, these 182 outputs should be completed in 202.22 kgs. But we completed in 200 kgs only. Into the weighted average rate, that is 5258 divided by 202.22. So this will be 58 favorable. I hope it is clear now, Anil. It is standard mix minus actual quantity into standard price. Once you are done with this, once you are done, just try to copy the solution. See, this presentation is the key. Whenever you find a question, try to prepare. Whenever you find a question on material variance, try to prepare this master chart. Once this master chart is ready, you can calculate all the variances with very easily. Just copy this presentation, please. This is the easiest way to solve all the question, guys. Yes, it is easy, Methili. Thank you so much. Just follow this uniform pattern for all the material variance question. Mehak, any doubts? Anil, any doubts? So guys, whatever I have discussed in today's class, do revise in detail. I'm not giving you any homework. Do revise what I have discussed. Then very important, the question what I have discussed while explaining the material variance, try to solve the question using the concept 2 to 3 times. The same question 3 times followed by this question. See, no new question, the same question, what I have discussed first, solve it using the concepts 2 to 3 times in writing. Thereafter, solve this question again. In the coming class, I'll be discussing variety of question, and trust me, you'll find this chapter is the easiest chapter. The point is you should focus on the concepts. So a homework for you guys, the question what I have discussed, just try to solve 2 times the same question on your own using concepts. Just write down the solution 2 times. It will help you to memorize the concept. See, initially for 2-3 times you will find that, okay, what's going on, why these concepts and all. But try to solve the question 3 to 4 times. You will find the concepts much more easier as compared to the formulas. No worries. That's okay. But I hope you are thorough with the concepts, Mehak. So make sure you solve the question what I have discussed 2 to 3 times, the same question. Thereafter, solve this question on your own. This much is the homework. In the coming session, I'll be discussing 3 to 4 more questions on material variance, followed by we'll be discussing labor variance also. Thank you so much, Akhila. I'm here to help you out in the best possible way. So whatever the queries you are facing, you can speak to me straight away. No need to feel shy. Just straight away put up the query. I'm here to address all your queries. Ashok, this 182 output should be completed using 202.22 kgs of raw material. But we consume 200 kgs only. That is 2.22 kgs less than what we expected. So it's a good sign for the company, multiplied by my weighted average price. That's it. Anyone else? So thank you so much for your time and patience and for active participation in the session. I'll be putting up many questions in front of you. See, I'll just take up the questions wherein the students find difficulty or where the students are like confused how to go ahead with the solution. So whatever the possible, whatever the possible mistakes, what generally the students do, I'll be covering all these parts in the coming session. So make sure you are regular, punctual. Those who are over YouTube, you can join over Zoom. You can speak to me. I'm here to address all your queries, to clear all your doubts. So thank you so much. Take care of yourself. God bless you. Today is, I think, Saturday. So enjoy your weekend also. Take care. Thank you so much. Edwin sir, I'm done. Thank you.